It was like a couple of friends. I said, like, I'm going to do this thing. Basically, I've got this image, and I'm going to just start sticking them everywhere and just see what happens. We're now pulling up to Great Yarmouth, my hometown. This is where I lived until the age of 19. It's a unique place with some very unique people. I like it. Sometimes it's not the most inspiring of places, but I think sometimes when your palette is limited, it pushes more from you. And my palette was definitely limited here, and I guess that's why I made the move to the to the big city of Norwich, which is a small city in comparison to others, but it's been a big player in the development of my work, SHhhh, and just me as a person. But then also coming back here and just getting on my skateboard and riding along the seawall as fast as I possibly can. Like, that's probably when I get most of my best ideas.
And it's like salt in the wounds. And it's like salt in the wounds. And it'll cycle too soon.
I was a bit lost, like, I like this, I like this. I really need to kind of grasp something. After a conversation with my dad one night, I just said, Dad, you know, I really just try and I'm looking for my own style. And he was like, well, you just stop searching, just keep making and it will just come. But yeah, I woke up next morning and there was like a little note from him, and he just said, I've looked through your book, and the lines, the shapes, the general sort of composition of your drawings remind me very much of like Mayan and Aztec artwork. So at this point, I'd never even heard of Mayan or Aztecs, but it was in literally like the final few months of college that I just really started to find my flow. I was just drawing like, you know, real free-flowing shapes. So I was just starting with, could be anything like that. Just real organic, therapeutic, smooth, like curvy lines. I just get into like this little like kind of hypnotic state. My mum and dad's bought me this book called Street Logos, and yeah, it just featured loads of different street artists and just like from all over the world. I guess just the idea of creating an identity for yourself as an artist, and I would just really like the idea of having a symbol rather than sign a painting or a CD cover I've designed for someone. I thought, yeah, I'll come up with like a little tag or a logo. I knew I wanted a speech bubble. I like the idea of the kind of juxtaposition of shush, say nothing, just like a sound. But then an empty speech bubble is also a universally understood symbol as, you know, say something. So the contrast of the two, you know, is kind of, yeah, I like that fusion. So they worked well together. It kind of made sense as well because as my work was gravitating more towards public space, it was kind of like, you know, shh, don't tell anyone who it is. So I kept myself anonymous. You know, a few friends knew what I was up to, just doing the odd stencil, a few paste ups, applying my illustrations to just like various walls. A lot of people were intrigued and didn't quite know what it was, whether it was a band or some sort of promotion for a business, which now you could say it is, but back then it wasn't a business, it wasn't like a proper company or anything. It was just a tag. Most designs for the t-shirts, they'll just come from just like rather than just do it all to rely completely on technology and computers. It's always best just to start off, you know, pen to paper, just having a little doodle, blank page, just see where it goes. Just getting in that headspace, I think that's where the best ideas come from. When I started SHhhh, you know, it was an identity for me, as myself as an artist, just a trademark, a symbol to sign my artwork with, my street art with. But now that's grew into an identity for more than one person. It's not just me anymore. So whereas SHhhh was my tag, that's now been, you know, that now represents a group of people. So my identity now is this, and this is what I sign my artwork with. I see myself, yeah, I do orchestrate the collective and I run it, but I am just one of the artists within it. I'm equal to everyone else, whether it be the illustrators, the photographers, filmmakers, DJs. I'm just another one of the contributors. This is where we made the first ever SHhhh stencil. What draws us to this and what makes us do this is maybe that primitive idea of just wanting to make, you know, make your mark in your habitat, like whatever, you know. Don't know what the thought process is behind a tag, but for me, I guess it's that, isn't it? It's just a simple boom, I made my mark on planet Earth.